How's it going, guys? This is Soul Singed here, and today I wanted to talk about something that I feel like doesn't really get talked about enough, and that is the female double XL freshman. Now, every year, double XL does this thing called the freshman list, and for those of you who don't know what double XL is, they're a magazine and website that primarily focuses on rap and news and hip hop culture. And annually, they do this thing called the freshman list, where they just get roughly 10 up and coming rappers of that year or the previous year and compile them onto this list called the freshman list. They do freestyles, ciphers, interviews, all that good stuff, and it's kind of like Double XL saying these 10 artists are the next big artists. Like, these 10 artists are going to be running the game in the coming years. And every year they have a female on the list. Now, the problem with that is there aren't that many female rappers, and there aren't that many female rappers that are relevant or have respect. So, most of the time, they end up getting female rappers on there that either aren't that good or just aren't that known and don't get that much recognition. Because in female hip hop, there really is three dominant female rappers: Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, and Megan Thee Stallion, and the rest are nowhere near that kind of mainstream level. And it's evident because you can just look at the last few years. In 2020, there were two female rappers on the list, Chica and Mulatto. Haven't really heard much from either of them this year. Mulatto seems to be doing pretty well. Chica, she's still pretty underground. In 2019, they had three females on the list: Megan Thee Stallion, who of course is one of the top female rappers right now; Rico Nasty, who is still doing pretty well for herself; and then Tierra Whack, and I have not heard anything on Tierra Whack since the Double XL freshman list. In 2018, they had Stefflon Don, had no clue who she was before the list, have no clue who she is now, and have heard nothing about her since the freshman list. And that's basically the trend with most of the female artists they get. And since the 2019 list had three female rappers and the 2020 list had two, that really begs the question, what up and coming female rapper can they put on the 2021 list? And I basically compiled kind of a list of some that I know about that could potentially make the list, though most of them I'm pretty sure won't. And I'll just be going over them and going over why I do or don't think they have a strong chance of making the list. So yeah, without further ado, let's just jump straight into that. So here I have a list of 9 female rappers, and I have them arranged from who I think is most likely going to make the list down to least likely. And keep in mind, these are only female artists that I actually know about. I'm sure there's a lot that I missed out on, and if there's some that I missed out, please leave them in the comments below, and I will check them out and see what I think about them. Without further ado, let's just jump straight into this. And the first artist up we have is Flo Milli. Now, a lot of people feel like she should have been on the cover last year, and I guess the only reason why I feel like she wasn't is because she didn't have much of a catalog or discography. She just had the one song that blew up on TikTok. But throughout the course of this year, she's built up more of a discography and seems like she'll be one of the more bigger artists on the cover next year. So I'd say it's very likely we'll see her on the cover next year. Next up is Rennie Rucci, I think is how it's pronounced. And she actually pitched last year and didn't make it. And she seems to be on the cusp of kind of blowing up. I mean, most of her music videos are doing fairly decent in terms of views. Don't know a whole lot about her, but I've seen her name kind of floating around. She has some buzz going on, so I feel like we might would see her on the list as well. Now, next up is Lex Bratcher. Now, I'm sure a lot of you may or may not know who this is. She is a underground female rapper. She is a more lyrical rapper or rap rapper, kind of like Chica. And while she is making some moves in the underground, she is still very unknown. Her biggest accomplishment so far is she was on the YouTube Cypher Volume 2. She has done multiple songs with Crypt. She has a song with Tech Nine and a couple of other impressive features. But outside of that, she isn't really that well known. Which Chica wasn't that well known either, and she made the list last year. But I don't know if Lex Bratcher is established enough to make the list, though I would definitely love to see her on the list. And I feel like they might would pick her because of her being a more lyrical female rapper. They always try to have at least one or two lyrical rappers. Another thing that may hurt or help her is the fact that she is very involved with the YouTube rap scene, and XXL has never put a YouTube rapper on the list, though I feel like this year or next year they probably will. We'll just have to wait and see. Realistically, I don't think Lex Bratcher will make the list, but I'd really love to see her make the list. Next up is Abby Jasmine. I don't know much about her. All I know is that she's pitched like 3 years in a row, and last year when she pitched, she didn't even say anything. She just stood there, said she had no clue why she was here, and just walked off. That's really the only reason why she stuck in my mind, because her pitch was just so ridiculous. And next up we have Coi Leray. I really don't think she'll make the list, because she's pitched a couple years in a row. She's pretty established at this point. She has been recognized in the rap industry for a couple years now. Her biggest accomplishments, of course, are dating Trippie Redd. She has a song with Gunna, apparently, and she had a song on the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse movie. And aside from that, I really haven't heard anything out of her. And then next up we have Big Clit. She pitched for the last year's cover and didn't make it, and her pitch had one of the worst like to dislike ratios I've ever seen. I think last time I checked it was like 600 likes to 5,000 dislikes or something like that. And she apparently had a song blow up on TikTok. She has one music video with over 2 million views, I think. And aside from that, there's virtually nothing. And like I said in my top 10 worst rappers video, she's just a much worse Rico Nasty. So, while I feel like there is potential with her brand, I really don't think she'll go anywhere. And I definitely do not think she'll make the cover, especially with that kind of name. And then next up we have Ashnikko, who is another artist who blew up on TikTok. While she does have a pretty big fan base and has been a very successful artist, I would class her as an outcast rapper. And for those who don't know what that is, they're rappers who make rap music, but often don't get recognition or respect in the rap game. And they have massive fan bases that typically are not hip hop listeners. So, artists like Dax, Token, NF, Tom McDonald, Hopsin, artists who have massive fan bases that don't listen to rap, and these artists that don't get respect or recognition in the rap game. And I feel like Ashnikko fits in that category, and that's a big reason why she wouldn't make the list, as well as her just being too big for the list. I feel like if she was going to make the list, it probably would have been the 2020 list. Next up we have Baby Goth. She was hot for about 15 seconds when her song Swimming blew up with Trippie Redd and Lil Xan. A lot of people don't like her because her music isn't that good, and the whole industry plant thing, and her image is being really weird and confusing and all that kind of stuff. And after Swimming, her image started dying down, and she's only put out like 3 songs this year, and none of them have gotten much recognition, so I highly doubt she would come anywhere close to making the list. Plus, if she would have made it, she probably would have been on the 2019 or maybe the 2020 list. And next up we got Bad Baby. She pitched a couple years in a row. Highly doubt she'll ever make the list. 1, she's been in the music industry too long. 2, she's already peaked. I feel like she peaked in early January of 2019 when her song with Tory Lanez dropped. And 3, everyone hates her. And XXL likes to avoid controversial artists, and virtually everyone hates Bad Baby, so there's no way they would pick someone like her. And that's it. That's all the rappers that I have. So if I had to pick 3, like in 2019, if I had to pick 3 female artists I would make the list, those would definitely be Flo Milli, Lex Bratcher, and Rennie Rucci, or Rusi, or however you pronounce her name. Those are the 3 that I could see making it. And I don't know if they're just going to have 1 or 2 or however many they're going to have. I'm sure they're going to pull some random female rapper out of nowhere to be on the list. But those are the 3 that I think could make the list. And yeah, that just about wraps up this video. I will be making another video on the XXL list where it is kind of giving my prediction / my own XXL list for the 2021 freshman list. So stay tuned for that. Got loads more content on the way, all that good shit. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good shit. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.